James Brown is the author of Beyond the Gift, Ascending to Your Life's Assignment. This book, published earlier this year, impresses upon its readers to not just focus on their natural talents, but also to seek to fulfill their life's purpose or destiny. It is our pleasure to welcome James Brown, motivational speaker, coach, and the author of this newly released book, to learn more. Hi, James.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yes. Well, good morning.
All right, so right away, that's a very heavy title. And I want to delve into that with you. Tell us about Beyond the Gift.
Yeah, so Beyond the Gift is just as it says. Many people, we are born with our gifts and our talents. However, our assignment is what we give to humanity, right? So that's what the book is. The theme of the book is that your gift, it makes a room for you. It opens the door of your life to take you to the other side of your life, a matter of fact, yeah.
So what motivated you to write this book?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So what inspired me to write this book? Because I was born gifted, all right?
Good stuff.
And if we have enough time, we could get into the difference between the gift and the talent. But I was born gifted. I was, a singer. I came out of my mother's womb singing. Just kidding. Right? But I was born gifted, the ability to sing and also the ability to speak. But however, I felt empty, and what that is a cry for my assignment, right? So, so that's what inspired me. And then I started studying other themes, other people's life. And I see it running throughout a lot of people's life. I mean, you think about Nelson Mandela, a gifted lawyer. But that was not his assignment. His assignment was to become a freedom fighter. Mother Teresa, likewise, just a school teacher in a school, gifted teacher. But however, her ultimate assignment was she saw the poverty in India, and she was moved. And there's a saying: there's no great people, no great men in history, only great circumstances that ordinary people like you and I, we rise to the challenge, and then people call us great.
Yeah. Well, I have a follow-up question to that.
Okay, sure.
It's International Procrastination Day. So
Okay.
did you procrastinate on your gift of writing the books that you have now, including Beyond the Gift?
Yes, of course. There's I always say courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is actually doing it afraid, because we were just discussing that whenever you write a book, you expose your life.
Yes.
You basically expose your life. So, as I walk around town, it's like everybody, they know me now, Yeah.
Intimately, it seems.
Yes.
Right, so was the book challenging to write for you, or was it more of a calling? And so did it give you comfort in that respect?
Yeah, I think it was a calling. I think I was inspired to write it. I grew up in St. Kitts, and when I left for Canada, I started putting pen to paper. I started journaling, and it started coming out of me. So that is what really inspired me, to write that book. Yeah.
Nice. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Jamie. Take it away, Jamie. Take it away.
Take it away.
Yeah. So I feel, so it's a sort of calling, I would say, probably. Probably is a calling, But I felt the inspiration. I felt inspired to write it. Yeah.
All right.
You sure? So give us some insight into the book. What is your favorite chapter?
Yeah. Wow. What's my favorite chapter? It's something you write a book, but you have to actually read the book now.
Yes.
So you have not read this yet?
Well, I've been reading it,
Okay,
But
okay.
so favorite chapter, I would think Surviving the Wilderness of Your Gift. I think that's chapter 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a point in time in my life when I was going to, you see, sometimes you're gifted, but you're going around the same mountain. And sometimes people could see you and label you in light of your gift. Oh, James the singer. But there's something more. There's something much more. Like, for instance, I lead an organization right now called Encourage Enterprise, where we are training leaders. Started off singing.
Congrats.
For those of you who read the Bible, you look at Joseph in the Bible. Joseph started as, the ability to interpret dreams.
Yes.
However, that wasn't his assignment.
No.
His assignment was to become the prime minister of Egypt, right? So, it just challenges people to, I encourage everybody to get the book. It challenges people to just go beyond and die empty, die empty.
I like that. Yeah. You almost sound like Miles Monroe coming through there. I literally heard the voice. Literally.
Well, he's one of my mentors as well. Yeah. So.
I seriously want to know if in writing this book, you came across some common themes that you think resonate with people who, as you say, might be stuck in the wilderness of their gift or
Right.
face other challenges. What were they?
Yeah. So the courage, I would say, the courage to, to go beyond, the courage to, step outside of, John Maxwell put it this way. He says sometimes you don't want to be outside of your gift zone, but you always want to be in your zone of growth. You got to keep growing, right? So just to answer your question in terms of helping people navigate that moment, I put in the book, I talk about the Chinese bamboo tree. So the Chinese bamboo tree is one of the tallest trees in the forest, and the story behind that tree is that, that tree was planted, and it took, 3 years, 5 years, I think up to 7 years, if I'm correct, right? And no sign of growth.
No sign.
No sign of growth, and and that's the thing about life. Our lives are in 2 stages where we start as a seed. However, there's another dimension of our lives. So sometimes people might. I always tell people, survive the dark before you can see the light. And there's a dark season that you have to go through, to actually rise and to be seen, in another light, right? So the Chinese bamboo tree, so they plant this tree, and no sign of growth in like 5-7 years.
But no sign of growth on top, though.
On top, right?
Yes, because
growth is happening on the. Well, there you go. So growth is happening, and that's our lives. Sometimes people, sometimes you're born, you never know what you're going to become.
Exactly.
Sometimes people don't recognize you, right? But if you stay planted long enough, then you will emerge as a plant, and then you become visible to the world, and you will stop traffic with your life. So people don't walk over you anymore; they walk around you.
Look at that.
That sounds good. Did I answer?
That sounds excellent.
You look like a deep thinker.
Oh, okay. Well, you're figuring me out.
Yeah,
I'm wondering
yeah.
if we're taking the analogy of that tree, if there's any point when it is stuck on the ground, if it begins to feel uncomfortable.
Come on now. That's
and
it.
enclosed.
Yes.
And so it needs to shoot.
That's it.
That's exactly what
Yeah, you cannot go to the next level without being in a situation of being uncomfortable.
Indeed.
And I think that's what we seek a lot, to be comfortable. But to go to the next level, you got to be. I mean, John Maxwell say, in order to go up, you got to give up. All right. So I had to give up the gift. When Jesus ascended into heaven, he left the gifts unto men. And sometimes it's the courage to leave that what you've been known for. That put you on that stage. You got to give it up to go to the next level.
Sure. So how long has this book been in the works?
Great. So that's a good question. So when I went to Canada, that would be about in 2013 or so. Yeah, I went to prepare for my assignment.
Okay.
Yeah, because I heard the Lord. The last speaking engagement I spoke at was my alma mater, KN High School, 2015, and heard the Lord say, "Okay, that's your gift. You're gifted, but now it's time to prepare for your assignment." Okay, so yeah. What's the question again? Sorry.
How long has this book been in
perfect.
works?
So in terms of publication, so I started writing when I was in school. So publication, it took me about 5 to 6 years to bring it to publish. But however, when I write the book now, I noticed that I've been writing the book all my life. So it's I'm now. Should I tell you my age? I don't have.
You can differ.
It's like 40 years I've placed into this book, 40 years is my chronological age. My biological age is different. I'm 20, right? So, so 40 years I've placed in it. So, we're all writers,
Yes.
Everyone has a book, at least one book, right? And I always encourage people to leave your thoughts behind, just write,
Good stuff.
I'm tempted to ask you now about legacy, if that is something that you have considered.
Yes.
And if so, what do you hope it would be?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I'm hoping to leave a legacy, even in terms of the book. I was telling my son the other day, I have a son, Joel, if he's listening. Yeah, he's my 10-year-old son. And, my legacy, like I dedicated to my family, my wife and my 3 kids, Joel, Jabari, and Joy. Yes. I want, probably when I die, no big legacy, but when I die, they could actually have me with them. They could actually read my thoughts, they could see the experiences that I went through. So that will probably be the legacy, to sort of, be as a guide for them,
Not just for them either, because honestly, you have put a lot of you into this book,
Right.
Based on what you're saying. So you're leaving guideposts, as it were,
Right.
for other people.
Yeah.
How important is that to you?
Yeah, well, that's important. Yeah, that's very important. They always say, when you fail, write a book.
Oh, I never heard of that, so I know that now.
Yeah. So I put all my failures in the book. So hopefully, people would read them and guide them. Yeah. So, but that's the challenge I want to put out there to everyone, that go beyond the gift. I started in church. I started as a worship leader, but however, it was much more than that.
Yes.
Like I said, you look at a lot of different people in history. Martin Luther King, just a Baptist preacher, thought that was his, his assignment. However, he was supposed to lead the civil rights movement. And the fun thing about it is that your gift don't look like your assignment. And that's the trick. Could I show it to you?
Yes.
Okay. Look at King David. Who would have thought the next king of Israel would have been a harp player?
Or a shepherd boy.
Or a shepherd boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, it's like you begin with your gift, but however, that makes room for you now. You say your gift will make room for you, not your education.
Yes, indeed, the gift.
Remember when they were looking for someone who can play the harp for Saul? They say, I've seen this person, playing the harp, and his gift made a room for him. Joseph was just interpreting dreams in prison.
Yes.
So they found him. I always say, when you find your gift, people will find you. Your world will find you.
And again, you preempted my thought, because as we're talking about the gift, I imagine that there are people out there who have yet to figure out what their gift is.
What their
Do you have
gift
any
is.
advice?
Yeah, sure. Whatever you're passionate about and whatever you feel pain, it's an indication. Well, you can't always follow your passion, So, because I'm passionate about golf, and trust me, I would do terrible. So, okay, I put in the book. I listened to an interview one time, with a pop singer. Her name is Rihanna. I don't know how many people know Rihanna, but she said something so powerful in an interview. They was asking her. She have a makeup line called Fenty, and they was asking her a question. They was asking her, why did you choose makeup? This makeup line. And, her answer was very interesting. She said, "Is what I always wanted to do." See that? Wanted to do.
Yes.
But she didn't start with what she wanted to do.
No.
She started what she ought to do, which was her gift. So, you got to start with that thing that you ought to do.
Yes.
If it's basketball, Michael Jordan started with basketball. And it just opens up so much things. Everything else becomes successful after that. So, clues to discover your gift, your interests. You can start with your interests. You might have a certain inclination to something, Or let me explain. There's a difference between your talent and your gift, because your talent really runs through your family pedigree. Like I came out of a family of singers.
Yes.
So, definitely, thing. But if you were supposed to say he's gifted now, say for instance, I became an amazing basketball player, that is not keeping in my family pedigree.
Yes.
So, that's definitely a gift, right?
Yes.
So, it's something innate. It's something that you do with the least amount of effort, but you get the greatest result. So that's just probably a clue to find it.
Good advice, James.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to continue along the lines of family. How did writing this book affect your family time with your wife and kids?
Well, of course, it would affect. I mean, my wife at the book launch in Canada, she said that sometimes she would wake up in the morning and she would just hear the computer going on. And Yes, but it has. But I thank them for it. I thank them for the sacrifice they have made. It has not been easy for them. It's not easy when you have a family, and you see, when you're stepping out into a dream, everybody feels the tides. Everybody feels the movement. Even my son, he had to do some sacrifices as well. My family had to sacrifice. My wife, so I want to just thank her publicly. Just let her know that I love her. And they say behind every good man is a greater woman. So, yes, so I just want to thank her. And like I said, no one person write a book. There's so many people who, who have contributed to, me writing a book. I might be the writer of the book, but a lot of people have contributed to my life. Even here in St. Kitts, have contributed in a positive way for me to really come to this. Yeah.
All right, so how can the book be purchased?
Right, great. So the book can be purchased Amazon. Everybody knows Amazon.com. You can get the book. I actually had about 100 books, but I was speaking here and there, and now I'm down to about 6 books. So I'm in deliberation right now with Harmony Bookstores. Right, I think everybody know Harmony. Yeah, so I'm speaking to them about carrying the book, and also Greenland Books and Things.
Okay.
Yes, so you can find it there. I'm gonna arrange to get the book in those stores, or if you need a copy from me, I'm only down to 6. If you need your own signed copy, right? But yeah, so you can get it from Amazon, or you can get it from Greenland Books or Things, or Harmony Bookstore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, James Brown, truly a pleasure.
Yes.
Cannot believe we're out of time, but
Time always flies when we're having fun.
it does.
Yeah.
Any parting words to our viewers before you go?
Yeah, parting words to the viewers is that your gift is not the destination. It is the transportation to take you to the destination. Don't die, as a harp player when you're supposed to become the next king of Israel. Don't die as a dream interpreter when you're supposed to become the next prime minister of a country. All right, so go beyond your gift, challenge yourself, to grow and to stretch yourself beyond your gift.